Hello and welcome back to the channel where we are building a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. So yesterday we worked on different knockbacks, different knockbacks for the Aquis spellcast. Dude, I keep quitting the game. Okay, so if we blast a gecko, it registered the collision, it turned into being splashed, and then it slowed down its walk speed. If we hit from the left side, it knocks him back this way. And that should knock him back down, but... Okay, so knocking up works. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. No, fart knocker. Dude. Yo, level 3 hype train from fart knocker. Dude, legend. Legend. Thank you for the subs, man. Wow, you got some. Miss Keen is a great one to get a sub. Bearded Mon is a great one to get a sub. War N, great one to get a sub. Thank you, thank you. Oh my gosh, you even got it for Brightside. Dude, Brightside's gonna be stoked. Wow. Thanks for the hype train, fart knocker. Holy crap. Well, welcome in. Yeah, we've got the second spell working, right? So we can blast the gecko with the water spell now, slows him down. One thing I do want to add is I know he's flashing blue because he's like nerfed by the water, but I think I want to do a flash red as well as a sound to indicate that he just got hit. So I think it'll help sell it a bit more if there's a big bright red flash upon the collision, as well as a sound upon the collision confirmation before turning into a slowed down gecko. So I think that's what we're going to work on today. Because other than that, it's looking pretty good. I mean, the render is a little strange, right? Because the water kind of, it goes to the nearest quadrant. So in that case, it kind of goes a little diagonal. Which I don't think I dislike it. I think it makes sense. For the game, at least. But I think it's just missing the collision, so it should make a damage sound, and then we'll get that red flash, and then I think I'll feel a lot better about it. And then I also think... See how the vibrancy for Aquis is draining? Since Aquis is easier to cast, like we can sit here and just cast like a bunch, right? And we don't really run out of mana, so we can just sit here and cast a bunch. I think that means that we should probably drain its vibrancy a bit faster. Okay, so let's work on, and you know what? I think the first thing I'll do is render the hurt box for the geckos so we can see if it's just too big, because I've seen it just like that, where it lands in front of them and they kind of slide back. It shouldn't be doing that. It should only be upon the spell like really getting closer to them. So I think that means we need to shrink the hurt box of the geckos a bit so that looks more believable, more realistic, because they're kind of predicting that they're going to get hit, so they're prematurely scooting back. So that's another thing I want to change. So we can take a look at where we're doing that. In the entity class, what we're rendering, we defer rendering to the state machine. So it would be the gecko walk state in this case. But we're doing like collision with an entity's position at some point, right? We're checking for that circle collision. So let's see if we can find that circle collision we added. Okay, well, where did we do it? Where did we do it? Because I'm just seeing where we commented it out. In the play state, it's not here. Yeah, we're looking for what? Aqueous collision. Man, we need to get better at notating some stuff. Wow, hey, thank you for the bits, Aziza. Thank you so much. Welcome in. Thanks for hanging around lately. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're looking for where we do this aqueous collision because we're trying to render that hitbox for the Okay, sweet. We just got a new emote for the hype train. Thanks for the love, y'all. Hey Mendoza, hey, welcome in. Good to see you again. Yeah, we're looking for where we're doing this collision between an entity and an aqueous spell. We have a method on our projectile, or actually it's on our entity. We have a method called circle collides, I think. Or, yeah, what is it called? Yeah, circle collides. Okay. Okay, so it looks like we do it here where we say we're going to run this circle collides method. Okay. Okay, so the method is on the entity. So the gecko, for example, is a whole square, right? It's a 16 by 16 size entity, even though the gecko takes up less pixels than 16 by 16. So that's where the discrepancy is coming in. So we could shrink the hitbox by changing the collision by shrinking this cast radius. Yeah, I don't want to do it that way. Because our cast radius changes based on leveling up aqueous. So we've already got those levels kind of pre-sized. But we want to check collision. I guess, yeah, we have to change something with this. It's kind of interesting because our collision is kind of just based around the center point of the entity. Because normally we do AABB collision, and this time I like came up with a way to kind of detect circle to circle collision, but I'm not sure I did it entirely right. I guess what we can do to start is just render this circle that is it should be let's see. Okay, so we're rendering a circle at every entity's location, including the gecko. So like we can see, oh, I've got the wrong spell equipped. Okay. Okay, for some reason, it looks like It looks like the right side is fine. It's just that when we're on the left side, it kind of prematurely... Yeah, see how it prematurely detects this collision? It really does. Yeah, see how it's detecting it before we even reach that circle. So it has nothing to do with the hitbox or the hurt box. It has to do with the logic that we had for the circle collides method on the entity class. If we put okay, instead of showing you guys the spell, we know that a level 1 spell that we've got is close to the size of the animated Aquis sprite. So we really do just need to recalculate the circle collides, and I think I see the error already. Right, so all we're doing to check if we're colliding or not, right, we're returning a true or false here from this method, and it takes in an argument of a target, and in our case, the argument is we're checking the entity against the projectile, the Aquis projectile, and there's only ever one active Aquis projectile when we go to cast, thanks to all that. But then the only thing we're doing to decide the collide is we're doing the Pythagorean theorem and checking if it's less than a width of a circle by getting radius times 2, so the diameter. So we're checking to see if basically the difference between 2 points is closer than a circle's width or a circle's diameter. But then when we look at how we calculate the sides for the a squared plus b squared equals c squared, I'm doing this not great, right? Because what we're doing is we're getting the difference in x, which is the side A, but we're subtracting. Yeah, we're saying let's take the entity's x, subtract the target to get the length of side A. But that only works if the target is to the right. No, because that's how we're messing it up. So how do we do this to get a proper... Here, I need to like draw this out. We should have GIMP on here. Okay, well, I've got a little stylus around here somewhere. Okay, well, my touchpad isn't even plugged in right now, so I've got to figure that out. Let's just do this. GIMP is already giving me issues, man. I can't, it won't even let me drag this. What is going on? Okay. Okay. So let's do this. Let's try to figure this out. Okay, Okay, so what we're doing, oh my goodness, okay. Can I full screen this? Okay, well. Oh no, dude. GIMP, what are you doing to me? This is my experience every time I try to use GIMP. Okay, I'm literally just trying to write. Okay, whatever. Okay, so let's say, you know, we're doing 2 points, right? Dude, this is killing me. This is killing me. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna say that this is a gecko, right? It's a 16 by 16 tile. And we have a projectile. That is our spell. So we're trying to detect collision with the spellcast and the entity, but the gecko looks a little something like this, right? He's got little arms and a head like this. So when we go to draw the collision here, like when we go, uh-oh. Dude. Why is GIMP the worst thing ever? I really cannot figure out GIMP to save my life. And our stream crashed. Oh no, dude. Don't tell me this. Don't tell me this. Don't tell me this. Okay. Okay, so we're imagining that there's a circle here. Oh man, dude. That sucks. Okay, so instead of trying to do circle to square collision, I decided that I was going to try to do circle to circle collision because it just seemed that much easier for me. So we instead have a circle here. So instead of this, we're actually having a circle to circle. Okay, so how we've been doing this is I know what it looks like. I know what it looks like. It's scientific. It's scientific. There's 2 points. We're trying to get, you know, we're trying to get the A side of the triangle. So we're getting this distance, right? Then we're getting, and if I can make it look at, okay, so like let's say these are our 2 points. We need to calculate the distance. So we're trying to do Pythagorean theorem to hit the C, right? We're trying to calculate the C. So here's the A, side A. Side B. And then side C. Okay, so we're trying to calculate side C. Now, how we need to do it is we need to get the distance of side A. So in this case, when the gecko's to the left of the projectile, we basically have to subtract. We have to subtract the element X from the entity X. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah. So that's the first step, but that's just if A is to the right of B. If it's instead this one, then we need to do the other way around, right? So in this case, we would need to go, we would take the entity's X minus the projectile's X. Dude, I don't know what to do about shitty internet, man. I don't know what to do about it. Sorry, we're crashing, y'all. We're still dropping frames like mad. Dude, I've got what seems like plenty of upload speed. So maybe I'll try to just reconnect the stream, or are we back? Are we live? Okay. We're looking okay now. Okay, hopefully that's okay. Okay, so this is the entity in this case. Right? No, this is the spellcast. Okay, so if this is the entity in this scenario, this is the entity in this scenario, and then this is the spell, and this is the spell. Okay, so if our spell's to the right of the entity, we need to subtract spell. Oh god. Spell's X position. Subtract the entity's X position. That gets us side A when the spellcast is to the right. Okay, so but yeah, there's got to be an easier way. Maybe the move is I feel like I'm overthinking this. How do we? Yeah, we just need a way to calculate the distance, the change in two positions, the difference of two positions. So I guess what we can do is subtract the bigger from the smaller to get the difference, or subtract the smaller from the bigger. Is that right? Yeah. Subtract the smaller number from the bigger of a given two number set. Because if this is X 20 in, or let's say it's 22 in right here, and this one is only 11 in, the difference in those two comes out to be 22 minus 11. So the bigger minus the smaller. Okay. I think that makes sense. So we just need to make sure we get the difference via that. Okay. So let's try that out. Dude. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so the side A, so instead of doing this, like we did the absolute value, but this is not right. We need the smaller of two values, right? So what we can do is, I guess we can do, we can pull the bigger X, right? So like, if we call it X difference or whatever, X, what is it? X, the distance between both X's, X length. You know what? Let's just do bigger X and smaller X. I don't know. Okay. So basically what we want to do is side A will become not the absolute value, but it'll literally be the bigger X minus the smaller X, and that'll be the difference. Okay, and then in here, the bigger X, how we do this is there's two values. There's an entity and there's a target, the parameter that we pass into this method. And we're trying to say that the bigger X is going to be the math.max, the bigger of two values. And we crapped out on stream again. Shoot, dude. I don't know what else I can do. I can't do anything. Yeah, I can't do anything. Dude, what the heck? Man, sorry stream. Dude, we were just at 50 megabits upload and now we're down to 1 megabit per upload. So that's unfortunate. Okay, and then the smaller X will be math.min of two values. Now the two values we want are the same two values, which is the entity and the target, but we're just passing in the X position, of our entity, because our entity is a class. So we'll do this where we say there's a bigger X and a smaller X, but then we also want to do a bigger Y and a smaller Y, right? So, oh my goodness. Shoot. Okay. Bigger Y is going to be the difference in Y's here. Okay, so there's a bigger X, a smaller X, bigger Y, smaller Y. And then our side B, that's the height. So that'll be our bigger Y minus our smaller Y. No. It'll actually be, yeah, no, it will be. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Okay, so now that we're doing that, we should have the right values. And then we're still doing the c² for the Pythagoras. Let's test it. Hopefully it's better collision. We should have changed the render color upon a successful collision, but right now it does the knockback. So it is detecting it. It's looking correct. We can still hit it. The collision does seem to be pretty good with it. That probably should have hit. That did hit though. Okay, so let's try left side now. Oh, see, look, it's still early. Still early. And you know what? Yeah, no, it makes sense we're doing it with the projectile location. We're tweeting the projectile to the nearest quadrant. That still doesn't explain why it prematurely contacts here. Okay, so in this scenario, we're doing this one, right? We're checking the spellcast against the entity when the spellcast is on the left. Okay. But yeah, we still do the same thing where we get A, which is the difference here of the bigger number to the smaller. Yeah. Yeah, and then we need the Y position, which is the same deal. We need the bigger Y subtracted by the smaller Y to get the leg here, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so then the last thing we're doing is checking the radius. And we're basically saying, well, if that C, whatever that C turns out to be, like let's say it's 4 or whatever. If C is 4, then we're saying, okay, well, if the distance between here and here is smaller than the diameter 2 times the radius of the spellcast. And we do 2 times because there's a radius right here and there's a radius right here. That turns out to be 1 diameter of a spellcast projectile. Okay, so man, sorry the stream's crapping out, y'all. We're on and we're off again. I don't get it. Oh, that's really crappy. Sorry, y'all. Okay. I don't see what I'm missing. Oh. No, side C should always be a positive number. Yeah, side C will always be a positive number. Let me test something. I'm kind of curious. If we try to cast the spell from the left side and like don't even try to really hit him, if it still triggers a collision. Oh, that did trigger. Yeah, we just prematurely detect the collision there. I am not sure what that is from the left side. I thought... Yeah, see how it's just... It's detecting a collision right here, which is just not right. So something's wrong with our X position. And it's weird because it's like we're checking the target X, right? Which the target X is any given entity in a scene, so that we can check all the entities, see if we're colliding with any of them. So let's see when we're doing this. Circle collides. When we actually do it in the entity update. So it looks like we run it, yeah, we run it on the entity, which I'm not sure is the best move. Okay, well... Yeah, it's not quite right. It is past my bedtime, so I've got to get going, but we will be back tomorrow. We'll try to figure this out. We'll dig a little deeper into the equation and see if we've misunderstood something or or what we'll do is take the entity render for that circle hitbox and also have it render red if there's a collision, an active collision detected. So we will do that to make it a little easier to debug. And then what we can do is we can assign a projectile to the mouse location so that we can actually kind of manually trigger and make sure that, you know, as slow as we move it, as soon as it collides, it would trigger the correct response, so that we can have a little more fine-tuned control over the collision detection system, at least for the aqueous casting. So I think we'll do that tomorrow. Other than that, thanks for watching, y'all. Thanks for all of the gifted subs, Fartknocker. That is very nice of you. So thank you for that. Very, very grateful to supporting the channel, because this is, you know, completely free game. And I'm just glad to give it out to the community for free. So it's cool to see you guys give it back. I really appreciate it. Anyways, have a good night, y'all. Let's run credits here, and we will find someone to raid out to as we have a good night. Yeah, we'll hit up Small Block Boy tonight for the raid, and we'll call it a night. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow with another episode.